Hey there. So it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and it's Monday, believe it or not, September. Boy, I had a flashback of a couple months. November 2nd. I can't believe it's November. I mean, time is flying by, but I say that every video, and so you're probably tired of listening to that. But anyway, so it's November 2nd. I'm a little bit early because I have an appointment this afternoon. I have an opportunity to put one of my card racks in a salon, and I'm going to be there, so I wanted to get my video in today. So here I am. And what I have for you today is a Slimline card. A friend of mine, Amy, we were in a swap together, and she did a Slimline card. It looked like this. And she had this little pocket thing here for money, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I asked her if I could do a video, and of course she said I could. And even the layout of this card that I'm going to make today with the money slot was a card that I cased from her too. So really this is all about Amy. Thank you, Amy, for networking with me and just bouncing ideas off each other, and of course letting me share your card on my video. So this is what it looks like on the inside, and like I said, it has a little spot here for money, this slot here, and I'll show you how I did that. Okay, so first thing I want to share with you is cutting your cardstock. So I'm using this Splendor something designer series paper. What is it called? It's called the Snowflake Splendor designer series paper. And now when you cut your paper, I'm turning this over so you can see better, because your designer series paper is going to be 8 inches by 3 inches when it's all said and done. I mean, it goes this way, not that it matters. But when you cut your designer series paper, make sure you cut your 8 inches first. Then that way you have this strip, which is 4 inches, right? And that's a good size for a card mat or whatever. If you cut the 3 inches first, then you have a bunch of little pieces, and we want the one big piece. So when you cut your designer series paper for this card, if you so decide to make it, make sure you cut your 8 inch first and then by 3. And I did it 8 by 3. Well, first of all, you have to do 8, but I made sure it was 3 because 3 you can get 4 out of your 12 by 12 paper. I hope that makes sense. That's just a quick cutting tip. And then I have 2 pieces here. These are, must be 3 1/4 by 8 1/4, yeah, because that's what this is going to layer on. Then I have, let me get my stuff here, a full piece of 8 1/2 by 11. This is Pool Party, which coordinates with the paper, the designer series paper. Always makes it easier when you just use designer series paper. You don't have to think about your other colors. You use what's in the designer series paper. Blah, blah. Okay, so this is an 8 1/2 by 11. Like I said, we're going to keep the 8 1/2 this way, but I'm going to cut this piece down. So I'm going to put it in my paper trimmer here, and I want to score it at 3 1/2. Now this is the 11 inch side. Oops, you're off the camera. This is 11 inch side up here at the top. So I'm going to score here at 3 1/2. And let me yank out the arm here, and at 7. Are you still in the camera? You are. Scored at 3 1/2 and at 7. There we go, I had to think. And I'm going to score it again. Then I'm going to take it to 10 inches, and I'm going to make sure I'm at 10. I'm going to cut that inch off. I don't need that inch. Now, you notice I haven't moved my paper because I'm going to go back. Wait, I need my cutting blade. Sorry. I'm going to go back to that 7 inches here, and I'm going to use my cutting blade, and I'm going to cut down to 2 inches. So on our trimmer, you can see right here 2 inches, just like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to just barely turn my card halfway. So here's that 2 inch cut here, but I'm going to scoot this over to 3 inches, like so. And I'm going to take a pencil. Let me make sure it's at 3 inches, and I'm going to just put a light little pencil mark right here on my cardstock. Then I'm going to take my pencil and also put a little dot right where that 2 inch mark was there. Because then I'm going to take and connect those dots on this. Whoop, we're out of the camera again. Let me move up. On this, see this right here, we know where our paper cutter trim right here cuts here on this, whatever it's called. I'm going to line up my dots in between where I know where the, I don't know what is, I'm not having trouble with my words today. The alley, I guess you would call it, of my paper trimmer. I hope you can see that. So I have my one little dot on the side here and my 2-inch little dot right there inside the holes. And then I'm going to just slice up, and you can kind of feel it stop, and then look, you take that piece out, and now we have our little angle there. Oh, now you could take a ruler and you could measure down and you could measure over and then connect it and then, you know, cut it with your scissors or cut it with, but I'm a lazy kind of gal, and it was right there handy, and so I just use my paper trimmer. And then I am going to take my eraser here and just erase those little pencil marks that I put on my paper. Okay, so now we're going to use our bone folder here and fold it good over. Take this piece and fold it here. I don't know if your paper, does your paper trimmer sometimes leave like a rough edge? I like to just take my bone folder and smooth that out too. And then I'm going to take this one over and fold it here too. So now we have our card base like that. Cute, right? Okay, let's work a little bit on, well, let's stamp now. So let me show you all the stamps I'm going to use. I'm going to use this snowman season. Now he is in the big catalog and he coordinates with a punch, and of course I don't have the punch here, but we're not going to use it anyway. Another thing that I'm going to use is the, what are these called? The snow globe scenes, because I love this little snow globe, and that little snowman is really cute in there. Now the snow globe scene coordinate with this stamp set, the still scenes, and this is in the annual or the big catalog too. So there you go, that's all the stuff. The other things that I'm going to use are the circle layering framelits. Almost forgot the name of those. But I've done all the die cutting in advance. So I have my snow globe here. I have a foil, silver foil scallop circle. I have a pool party circle, and I have the pretty little wing-a-ding thing that goes in the front of the snow globe, and then I have the back of the snow globe. And I also have a window sheet, but I have set it aside so I can find it, because you know how I am with window sheets, I can never find them after you cut them. And I'll show you that. Well, I'll get that out later. So since it's a photopolymer stamp set, I'm going to use my stamp mat, and I've already got my I'm trying to think what I want to start with. There's not a lot of stamping, but I think I'm going to start with my snowman and my Memento black ink. So here I'm going to take him. I like to ink him up this way to make sure he's good and inked up. And you know what? Since I have a piece of scratch paper right here, it's first day stamping, let's just practice a little bit and make sure. Yep, we're all good. Okay, let's go on. You know that first time you get the ink and the stamp out, you just got to practice a little bit. So I'm going to take my snow globe here, and I'm going to line my snowman about in the center here and try to get the bottom straight, and just set that down. Let that ink sink in. So there we have our snowman. Then one of the stamps in the stamp set says let it snow. One of the nice things about using the photopolymer or the clear stamps is that you can do all your die cutting before, and then you can still see and center stuff because of the clear stamps. There you go. And then the last place I want to, well, not the last place, but I want to stamp right here. This is the, see now I've opened up my card. I want to stamp right here on this, and I'm going to use some more words from the stamp set, and it says, let me see, hoping this season builds heartwarming memories. And I'm going to take that and just stamp it right here on that flap. Let it sink in, the ink sink into the paper. We're always in such a hurry. I think we need to slow down and let the ink sink in. Okay, oh, and while I have this piece out, and I'm going to grab this scratch paper here, I'm going to take my pool party ink and some of these snowflakes here and just randomly stamp some snowflakes right there, right here. There, that looks pretty good. Now it gives it that little flap, just a little bit of character. Okay, put this all away. Get all my stamps put away, give me some room to work here. Okay, so now let's take these two pieces of white. Now I know I've explained it in another video, but maybe you haven't seen that video, or maybe, oh, wait, before I go there, look how I did when I did this card, right? I meant to use this side of paper, and I put my adhesive on the wrong side, but look how cute that turned out. But this time I'm going to use this side. But anyway, back to my other videos. A slimline card, I don't think they necessarily have an exact measurement. I think you pick what size envelope you have on hand, or what size, you know, what size money you have. I don't know, something like that. Because my envelope is a 9A envelope. Therefore, I make my card, hold on, 8.5 by 3.5. But now I've heard that the big letter size envelope, you know, that you get at Office Max, I think those are a little bit bigger. So measure your envelope before you decide, or find your envelope before you decide what slimline card size you're going to make. I also like the 8.5 by 3.5, because in that way you can mat your designer series paper and cut it down to 3 inches. But I happen to have a friend that found some really nice 9A envelopes, and so that's what I use, and that's why my cards are this size. Okay, so then I'm going to take this other white piece here, and now I didn't do on my other card, my sample card, so we'll see if we like it and if we can decide whether we should do this or not on future cards. But I'm going to take another piece of Whisper White and just put that on the inside of my card. I thought it was lacking just a little bit. See, and I think I do like that liner in there a little bit better. Now here on this strip, I'm going to take some tear and tape, and I'm really going to worry about this corner here, and then I'm not going to worry too much. I just need this stuck down so that when you put the money and tug on it, it's not going to come up. You could also use just your liquid glue. You could use Seal It Plus, but I'm going to use tear and tape. And then thank God for the Take a Pick tool, so you can get those backings off and just lay that down, making sure that this is lined up right here. And there, the inside of our card is all done. One more time with the bone folder. And I do like that white layer behind it, because then when you put your money in there, look at that money. We all love money. Anyway, maybe sometimes a little too much. So let me show you how. I have this piece here, the silver, that is die cut, and it's got a lot of detail to it. So I'm going to take my silicone mat, and I'm sure you've seen this done 100 times, but I think it's the easiest way to get these detailed dies glued down. You could also use the adhesive sheets and put it on before you run your die through the the die cut machine. Now I think you've seen me do that before too. And now my glue is I should have practiced gluing instead of stamping, huh? Because now, come on, there we go. A little bit of glue. You take a sponge and a clothespin and just dab it here. Now I'm going to hold this down, make sure this does not move, and I'm going to just dab that glue on there. I'm going to get some on my finger, but I don't care. I just don't want my paper to move. And now it has little dots of glue all over it. And when you lay it here, it's a lot easier, and you don't get glue everywhere. There's no glue on the front, and if you do get glue on the front, it's little beads and they wipe off really nice. Now that I got my liquid glue going, I'm going to go ahead, well maybe, and use my liquid glue to put circle on circle, because there's such a little border here. So now I'm going to set those aside and let those dry while I color my snowman. So I have just a little bit of Pool Party. It's the light Pool Party blend. And I'm going to just kind of color a little bit around where I think it should be shaded. There's the word I'm looking for. Just a little bit, give them a little bit of color here. I'm going to color these little snow, I think these are snowballs up here. And I'm going to color down here the little snow on the ground. Just give him a little bit of color. Maybe a little bit on his cheeks up here, on his face. Okay. And then of course, with the light pumpkin pie blends, I'm just going to get his nose. There. So then with the adhesive back sequins, you know how I love these, and they come kind of in like a clear and kind of a white. I'm going to use the whiter of them. Really, they're iridescent, all of them. And I'm going to just cover up these 3 little snowflakes right here with the cute little snowflakes. You know what though? I think I'm going to cheat, and I'm actually going to do 4. I'm going to get this one right here too. There. Ooh, I'm going to do 5. Look, I'm going to cover this one right here too. Go hog wild. So then he looks like, well, while we're at it, let's get this one right here. There we go. Now look how cute that is. Got all those little snowflakes on there. Okay, so now we need to put, let me find it, here it is, our window sheet. And I don't know if you can see it, I cut it the same size as this snow globe part here. But I need to stick that down, and I don't want my glue dots to show through. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on my ink pad, so if I lose it, you guys can tell me where it is. I'm going to bring in Paper Pumpkin glue dots. Now, our regular mini glue dots would work, but Paper Pumpkin glue dots are so much smaller. They're not that much smaller, but they are smaller. So I'm going to take one of theirs, and I'm going to put it on his button right here. And I'm going to put one, wait, I have it here. Stuck to my, there, it's gone now. Okay, and then I'm going to put another one on his foot right here. Try to get as many as I can to hold that window sheet down. Then I'm going to use the sticky side or the putty side of my take a pick tool. So much easier to get and so much faster. Some of the things I don't like about the mini glue dots is trying to get all those little covers off. But the take a pick tool, you can just slide them right off like that, and it doesn't take so long. Then with my window sheet, I'm going to line it up, and now those little glue dots will hold my window sheet on. And look, you can't even see them there. You have to look really close to see the glue dots, but it'll be okay. I think they look great that way. So if you have Paper Pumpkin, hang on to those glue dots or get them out and use them. I think a lot of us just throw them aside and don't ever use the Paper Pumpkin glue dots, but the Paper Pumpkin glue dots are very useful. And when you use your take a pick tool to get those backings off, they're not quite the pain in the butt that we think they are. So now with some dimensionals, I'm going to take and put some dimensionals, let me think how, on the back of him. And I'm going to put them, so see how they hang off here like this? And then I'm going to take this guy, whoop, almost put him on backwards, and lay him on here, just barely so those rocks can see. It looks good like that. And then see how the dimensionals hold them together. And then I'm going to kind of go hog wild with my dimensionals because, well, I don't want anything to happen to my snow globe here. There we go. And then, you know what, I'm going to use my take a pick tool to get my backings off of my dimensional. Whoop, that one didn't go. Well, yep, there we go. Well, looks easier said than done. There we go. Okay, then we're going to take this piece and just lay him right here on our card. I think he looks good right there. And then our Let It Snow, we'll take a couple dimensionals on the back of that. My dimensionals are not cooperating. Anyway, and then just lay him right there. And there you go. So the last thing our card needs, I think, is a ribbon right here. So I'm going to take this silver metallic edge, I don't know, something ribbon in white. And I'm going to, no, I'm not going to tie a bow. I'm going to just tie a simple knot. And I'm not going to pull it too tight. I want it to see, let's see which side looks better. I think this side looks better. There he goes. And then see some paper or scissors I've saved for ribbon. I'm going to cut these ends straight this way. Maybe I should have waited and put it on my card to see how long I need them, but I think I'm good. Where did my mini glue dots go? Bring those back in. Take one of those, and I'm going to put it right here at the base of my snow globe, and then just stick my little bow right there. Look how cute that is. There you go. So the last thing that well, let me show you all my cards first, and then I'll talk business here. There's Amy's too. How cute that is. I love this designer series paper. Is that not pretty with the foil in there? Let me clean up a little bit. As I clean up, I just want to tell you thank you. If you're watching me on Facebook, thank you for watching. Make sure you like my YouTube or Facebook page so you don't miss videos. I think it'll give you notices of videos. And if you're interested in my classes, I post them as events here. Or you can make sure on my email list and you can see all my classes on my email list. If you're watching this on YouTube as a replay, thank you again for watching. Make sure you subscribe and click that bell button. And last, but oh, I forgot. Look, when you have this, see how I have that glue on there? Best thing to clean that up is a lint roller. And you just go like this a couple times. In fact, it cleans all the glitter off your silicone match. You gotta love the lint roller. Okay, back to business. But pretty soon, it's time to mail out the next mini catalog. And I think it's called the Spring Mini Catalog, but it'll run from January, I believe, through June. So if you want a mini catalog, be sure to let me know, because I'll be mailing out those close to the end of November. If you ever need the products that you see in today's videos, you can go to my online store, StampineUp.net, Kathy House, StampineUp.net. For all the measurements, they'll be on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. And if you place an order, be sure to use the host code. Unless it's $150 or more, then please just take the hostess benefits yourself. So there you go. If you have any questions, be sure and leave a comment before, or you leave a comment below, or you can give me an email. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.